페스티벌을 지원하기 위해서는 질문이 이미 팀으로 구성된 예술가가 지원 가능하다고 이해했는데 과학과 예술의 그 융합이 비교적 새로운 시도라고 생각돼서 지원할 수 있는 팀 자체가 한정적이었을 수도 있을 것 같아요. 혹시 언박스드 페스티벌 이전에도 과학자나 엔지니어들과 예술가들이 교류하는 커뮤니티들이나 활동들도 많이 지원하는지 궁금합니다라고 했는데 사실 이것을 구성하는 것 자체가 굉장히 핵심인데 아까 발표에서 다 다룰 수가 없었던 것 같아서 그 부분을 추가로 듣기 위해서 질문을 하면 좋을 것 같습니다.
Thank you. That's a really good question. These were new teams, brand new teams. They had never worked together before. So it was actually one of the criteria was that at least 2 members of those teams had never worked together before. We were intentionally trying to push people to work in new combinations. So the way that it worked was that one person who was the team initiator or the team leader would reach out to people they might have heard of, people they might have thought, oh, I'd love to be able to work with that person one day, but I don't know how. It was deliberately designed in order to create those connections from scratch. And to answer the second part of the question, each of those 30 teams that was selected out of the 120 teams that applied, they were given £100,000 each to do the R&D period to take them to the pitch. So the whole thing was fully funded. It was really important that they were supported financially to do this. And actually what we're seeing is that a number of the projects that were developed during that R&D project, even though they weren't commissioned by Unboxed, they're now being commissioned by other festivals and other organisations across the United Kingdom.
10개의 프로젝트 중 가장 애정이 갔던 프로젝트가 있는지 그 이유가 궁금하다고 하십니다.
If you'd have asked me that while I was still working, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. But I have a special affection for Dream Machine because I think it's a genuinely extraordinary, totally unprecedented and potentially really, really groundbreaking project. The thing that I really love about it is that it seeks to demonstrate in a way that is really clear how differently each of our individual perception really is. How different each of our individual fields of perception really are, and kind of teach us more connection and empathy and understanding of perceptual diversity. Plus, it really works. It's really incredible. You lie there with your eyes closed, and you will have a completely unique and really vibrant hallucinatory experience. So for that to be a publicly funded mass participation project, I just think it's incredible, and I'm really proud to have played a part in it.
네, 감사합니다. 아까 그 첫 번째 질문으로 넘어가서 추가 질문을 주셨습니다. 사실 이 부분 굉장히 중요해서요. 계속 말씀을 해주시면 좋을 것 같아요. 그 만약 서로 교류가 없던 아티스트 팀과 만들어졌다면 팀을 이루기 전에 제일 중요했던 건 서로 분야에 대해서 그 활동할 주제에 대한 관심이었던가요? 라고 질문을 하는데 사실 이 팀을 그냥 갑자기 구성하는 게 아니라 되게 오랜 시간 단계별로 구성을 한 걸로 알고 있는데 오히려 그 지점에 대해서 좀 질문을 정확히 요청하고 들을 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.
Yeah. So some of the people within the teams had worked together before, but many of them hadn't. So the criteria was that there was at least one pair within the team that hadn't worked together before. Now, they were all invited to join the creative studio at the beginning of this 8-week period. And part of what we did was team building exercises that were challenging because they took place online, but they were effective because everyone was participating equally. And it meant that people could, come together across long distances. It meant that people that had disabilities were able to participate equally. That was really important, that was something that they could do. During that period, they each one of the teams was invited to take part in seminars, which were delivered by the BBC R&D department, and these used classical design thinking techniques that some of you may be familiar with, including double diamond and rosebud thorn. So they also gave talks on things like how to develop your values, how to develop communities of practice, and most importantly, how to collaborate in interdisciplinary ways. They ran structured workshops in order to help people put that into practice. And those workshops were kickstarting your idea, then focusing your idea, evolving your idea, and finally pitching your idea and strengthening that. We also had inspirational talks from a number of people across the creative industries. So we had talks from musicians, we had talks from scientists, writers, and even astronauts coming and talking to those teams about how they could get inspired, work together, and pitch their ideas. No, the criteria was not that they have a shared interest. It was really important that they were not coming to us with an idea. They were coming to us with the alchemy of the team. So it was really about the reputation of the people involved and the diversity of the teams. That's what we were looking for. Potential, not ideas mining.
네, 감사합니다. 마지막으로 그 팬데믹 대응 아주 짧게 얘기해 주시고 마치면 좋을 것 같습니다.
It was, as you can imagine, incredibly challenging. We didn't know how. We started the R&D period in full lockdown, and when the commissions were developing their pitches, we didn't know whether or not gathering in public spaces was going to be possible at all. So we invited the commission teams to come up with different versions of their projects. And we also made sure that we were investing very heavily in digital experiences. And the digital program was as important as the live program, so that people could experience those projects from anywhere they were in the world, but also so that if we had to pivot to digital delivery, then we had a really high quality product in order to do that with.
네, 감사합니다. 시간이 이제 지나서 여기서 마쳐야 할 것 같습니다. 긴 시간 경청해 주셔서 감사하고 오늘 강연해 주신 모든 여러분, 원장님, 통역해 주신 선생님 모두 감사드립니다. 그럼 오늘 행사가 많은 분들에게 유익한 시간이 되었기를 바랍니다. 감사합니다.